Murmurs of a rift between the chief advisor of the interim government in Bangladesh, Muhammad Yunus, and the Army Chief of Bangladesh, General Waker-Uz-Zaman, have been doing the rounds for quite some time now. But if one is to go by local media reports in Bangladesh, especially Bangladesh newspapers and publications, this seems to have now come out in the open. Now, on Tuesday, there was a meeting held in Bangladesh to discuss and review the law and order situation. It was attended by the Army Chief, the Navy Chief, the Air Force Chief, the Home Advisor, the Foreign Affairs Advisor, the National Security Advisor. Curiously, the Police Chief was missing. Now, if it's a law and order security review meet, then why was the Police Chief missing? The explanation from the Press Secretary to the Chief Advisor, Muhammad Yunus, that is, of course, Shafiqul Alam, who's the Press Secretary. He says, well, the Home Advisor was there and therefore that's enough because the Home Advisor is someone whom the Police Chief reports to. And that, of course, is the explanation. But what now is very clear is that the Army Chief addressed all officers available. And this was a suddenly called address in which the Army Chief is believed to have made comments that clearly is something that shows that he's at loggerheads with the Chief Advisor on several issues. What are these issues? First is the issue of elections. Now, the Army Chief apparently told officers at this address, and this has been again reported by the local media in Bangladesh, that elections should be held by December. Now, there are allegations against Muhammad Yunus that he is dilly-dallying on announcing a date for elections and that he wants to cling on to power somehow without actually holding these elections. At the cost of not holding elections, he wants to cling on to power, and this he's doing by using students' bodies as a front with the support of hardline Islamic extremists like the Jamaat-E-Islami Bangladesh, which is a body that seems to have been supporting Muhammad Yunus. But if you look at the two other parties, let's talk about the Awami League, which was ousted from power last year. Even before elections are held, Muhammad Yunus's interim government has decided to ban the Awami League. Now, it is up to the people to decide who gets to rule, who gets to be elected. And elections could have very well decided the fate of the Bangladesh Awami League. Instead, Muhammad Yunus chose to ban the party, effectively rendering it impossible for the party to participate and contest the elections. Now, the other party, the Bangladesh Nationalist Party or the BNP, has also had some strong words for the Yunus-led interim government. In fact, going on to say that, there are some people who are trying to thwart an election process and advising Yunus against it. And also, there have been several comments about democracy and how fascism slowly takes seed in situations like these. Also going on to say that basically elections should be held, something that the Yunus government has been dilly-dallying on. The other issue is also a very important issue that's being discussed in Bangladesh in the context of the Rohingya crisis. Now, because of the crisis in the Rakhine state and the fighting that's broken out there, the Rakhine state of Myanmar, Rohingyas have been pouring into Bangladesh. And what Bangladesh is talking about establishing is a humanitarian corridor, as members of the interim government term it. But this again, they say, has to be done by the UN and all of that. But the Army Chief is opposed to such a decision. The Army Chief says that if at all a corridor has to be established, then it has to be done by a politically elected government. Such decisions lie within the purview of a politically elected government and not ideally an interim government that's only there for a temporary period, basically to govern while elections are held, till the time elections are held. So obviously this is something that the Army Chief has said in that address, as reported by local media in Bangladesh. And this again seems to be completely at loggerheads with what the Yunus government is saying or the position the Yunus government has taken on this issue. Now, there are rumors of the Army Chief and Muhammad Yunus falling out. The government of Bangladesh, the Press Secretary Shafiqul Alam, has described these as rumors and saying that there is no truth to them. But clearly, there is no smoke without a fire, and Bangladesh continues to be on the edge. There's a threat from hardline radical Islam, but there's also this other issue of Muhammad Yunus and the Army Chief of Bangladesh, General Waker-Uz-Zaman, reportedly falling out. And this has been widely reported in the Bangladesh media. And also these comments of General Waker-Uz-Zaman have also been reported in the Bangladesh media. And therefore, the understanding of the situation is that there is indeed a rift that, of course, is being denied by Muhammad Yunus's aides. For more such videos where we go beyond the headline and look at the context in which the news developments are taking place, stay tuned to NDTV's YouTube platform. For all the news and updates, stay tuned to NDTV. Thank you so much for watching.